Mikey, give me a little music. You got a little music? Mikey's got no music.
It's the
okay.
most wonderful time
all the time
of the year. With picks being made and trades being made and everything's being made.
And people are going crazy.
Hopes in the air.
Guys, we are back. It is the 2024 NFL Draft. It is a year till the point in time where we were at my house in 2023. Less than a month of starting Athletically Declined Sports.
I was just a viewer then. I wasn't even.
You were?
I was just an avid viewer.
Man, I can't even tell you guys how excited I am right now. First of all, I want to say thank everybody who is out here at Chicken and Pickle. As all, like you see on the flyer, guys, we are live at Chicken and Pickle. If you're in the Houston area, get your butts down here. We have the entire second level to ourselves for all of our fans. If you're here at Chicken and Pickle and maybe it's your first time hearing about us, you can also come up here. This is for our fans, for the viewers, for the squad.
We've got drink specials. Buy one, get one full price. Only here at Chicken and Pickle.
Yes, man, Alex. And guys, there is a lot of cool stuff that we have got this year that you're not going to get anywhere else. So we're going to walk through what we got going on tonight. As the draft is getting going, again, want to give a special shout out to our freaking monster production team, Mikey, for making all of this work. This has been a rough week. There has been, I got down with a freaking real bad crick in my neck that really put me out of commission, got us kind of going a little slow. I know, Clancy, you were sick some this week.
I haven't slept in like 3 days.
Yeah, most of us haven't slept in like 3 days, but Mikey really deserves a hug. You guys see Mikey, if you're hanging around here at Chicken and Pickle, you see Mikey, you give that man a hug, you buy that man a drink, and let him know you appreciate him. Also appreciate our boy Cap and Planet back there as well, helping us out, getting the sound bites going. And our media team, Busy, and Josh, Rydershaw Studios, and Busy Bee Productions. Yeah, and thank you, Clem.
Coming from out of state.
Yeah,
out of state.
Just one state over, but
It doesn't matter. Sports gambling is legal.
I would like to point out that I came from out of state, and somehow I was the first one here today.
Listen, we're not talking about that, okay? Like I said, it was a long day, dude.
It's a dedication, Holmes.
So, we're going to go ahead and break this down. As my boy Bobby Flay says, we're going to break this down in 2 rounds, but we got 32 picks to break down on. We got our boy. You love him. You know him as Mr. Fantasy, and he's the reason why you probably won your fantasy league this year. We've got Spencer Roland Nolan, Mr. Fantasy.
How's it going, guys? I'm stressed out, but hey, we got the NFL draft going on right now, and I know what you're thinking right now. How am I going to know what's going on? How am I going to stay plugged into all the breaking news? Well, I'm here to tell you I've got you covered. All of the picks as they happen before ESPN, before NFL Network announces them, I've got them here first. I'm stressing out. I'm locked in on Twitter. It's going to be great. I've got the panels covered. I've got you guys. It's going to be great. I'm locked and loaded, guys.
Spence, I know that there is just, we talked about this on Buddies and Ball. We were waiting for all the dump of information. We've seen this morning, we talked a little bit about Drake May and J.J. McCarthy, which one are the Giants looking at, because it looks like they're trying to make a pick. We've heard that Deebo Samuel potentially is being looked at by the Texans. We have saw that A.J. Brown got an extension. So, and I think, was it last night, guys, that Ahmad St. Brown also got an extension with $77 million guaranteed.
Wait, who was looking at Deebo?
Texans.
That's the rumor. That's what Hambone said.
There is no rumors. Those rumors are infatuated. I've done the digging. I've dug deep into the trenches of the Twitter sphere. I saw nothing that links the Texans to Deebo Samuel, guys. I'm on it, guys. I'm on it.
Spencer,
what was the first thing
you said there?
What?
Nothing.
You've done anyway.
So now,
it's a family show.
Hey, man.
Spencer knows how much of a Deebo fan I am. So y'all don't get my hopes up like that my Texans are gonna come home with Deebo.
Why? There's no need for Deebo here.
Currently, we have the commissioner on the stage with Eminem, Slim Shady, Marshall Mathers, and it looks like some of the Detroit Lions are up there. I see Jared Goff,
Aiden Hutchinson.
Megatron's up there.
Who is that short guy?
Barry Sanders.
That's
That-
Amon St. Brown.
He's that short.
I mean,
I guess next to Aiden Hutchinson, he's like 6'4", 6'5".
like 6'5".
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
I want to hear y'all's take on it. A lot of new uniform drops over the past week or two, and the Lions. We were just talking about them. What do y'all think of those new Lions black unis?
Those are sweet.
I think they're sweet.
The Lions have always had pretty solid uniforms. The whites are clean. The silvers that they debuted for Thanksgiving were great. I'm always a big fan of black unis. So
But-
and the blue that goes with it is great.
With them coming out with those black unis, I hope they don't get rid of the all grays, because
The
those are my
throwback all grays
the
are pretty
all grays
sweet.
are my favorite uniforms in the NFL.
Really?
Greatest running back of all time,
Yeah,
Barry Sanders, is on stage. Pretty excited. It looks like Detroit is buzzing right now. Is that Megatron?
Yeah.
Megatron
That
is
is.
on
Megatron's
the stage
in the
as well.
house.
They're bringing out all the stops. I'm glad they finally paid Megatron his money. I think that's what lifted the curse. So Detroit is packed to the gills with NFL fans currently.
And Detroit's got a good fan base.
Detroit does, and I hear
love their
that Detroit
fans.
has been cleaning things up, and it's not as dangerous to live there anymore. You can get property there dirt cheap, and they're building it up pretty nice. So hopefully Detroit's on the come up. I know their football team definitely is. So I was always kind of a Detroit Lions. I rooted for them because they suck so bad. You know, you got Dan Orlovsky running out the back of the end zone, 0-16, and it's good to see them starting to turn things around. Dan Campbell, I mean, I tell you what, man, you know, they're going to go in there and they're going to gnaw some kneecaps off.
Gnaw some kneecaps.
And we now have 10 minutes on the clock for the Chicago Bears to make their pick.
Chicago
I don't
Bears.
imagine they need that much time.
About to
but
say,
we're
gee,
gonna see-
guys,
look at that.
who do
look
you
at
think
that
they're
suit
taking?
that guy is wearing. Just a couple ham hocks. Chicago Bears, duh Bears.
Da Bears.
Duh Bears.
Okay.
The Bears.
So before we get this thing rolling and we get the pick on here, we are going to break down, Mikey, if we can bring Spencer back on here for a minute, we're going to break down what we've got going here because you're going to need to be listening for a few cues tonight. All right? One of the cues that you're going to be listening to here is if there is breaking news.
Breaking news.
Breaking news.
Spencer will be breaking that news.
There it is.
Nice little SpongeBob reference there. Breaking news.
And then we are going to immediately cut to Spence for what he's got because it is going to be super important and it's going to be very groundbreaking. You're going to get it before ESPN, CBS, wherever you're watching it. The second one you want to wait for is we are also going to be getting the picks before the national media because we're that good. And Spence does his digging. And that cue is going to sound like this.
I just ran it. I got a little happy there. I got a little pre jitters.
How about you
there,
double tap
But I just
that?
ran it. You want me to
Hit
run it again?
Hit it
Hit it again.
Run it again.
The pick is in.
Love it. Love it, man.
All right.
I fully expect to hear that breaking news go off and alert us of a trade between the Chargers and the Vikings. I'm calling it right now.
Hey, also too, just because I know like these are some fun new things we got on here for production's sake. The transition right there, Spence. I don't know if that's on your laptop. Is behind the overlay instead of in front of it, just for what it's worth.
While we're waiting, so we are waiting, what would you like to see from each one of y'all's teams in this draft?
Ponce, start.
Considering I am a Texans fan,
Me too.
don't do anything dumb. All right, we're in a good position as it is. 2 second-round picks tomorrow. Be patient. Nick Caserio is known to make a splash. I don't know that it's necessary here. Pay attention. Let's see who falls from the first to the second and what you can get in day 2. The Texans are fine. Just stand pat.
So, as another Texans fan, I'm going to disagree with you, Clancy.
Oh, no. On what grounds?
I trust Nick Caserio, and I just want to let him cook. If he sees somebody out there that he thinks is worthy of trading back into the first round for, I've come to trust Nick Caserio until he breaks that trust. Let him cook. And there's one guy that I would love to see in a Texans uniform. I don't know if he makes it out of the first round, But how about a little Cooper DeJean?
Cooper DeJean.
We could use some help in our secondary, and I think he's a guy to do it.
He is what, the 3rd or 4th ranked cornerback on the
Defensive back.
defensive back. Oh, sorry,
Yeah.
let me go ahead and say that. As a white, I would like to see Cooper DeJean as a cornerback so that he can break that streak.
Yeah, he would really help us in that
Whites.
that game.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Still, for the
Yeah.
Texans, I don't hate the take because that's probably the bottom half of the first round, which means he's not paying an astronomical price for that. Texans still have like $24.5 million in cap space. So whatever you don't get in the draft, there's still
Not
plenty
yet.
of free agents
I'm
out
locked
there.
in. I'm locked in.
I
Spence, we
still
can't
stand
hear
by
you as
be
well.
patient. But Clem, I don't disagree completely. Casario's done great thus far. If he feels the need to cook tonight, let the man do it.
And which I don't think he's going in there like, oh, I'm gonna make a big splash tonight. I think he's going in there like, let's just see how it shakes out. Let's see what opportunities present themselves. I don't think he's gonna get over aggressive.
He's not Kevin Costner off draft day tonight, not doing anything that absurd.
I don't think so. And the funny thing about that movie is you never see how it shakes out.
No.
Knowing
No.
the Browns,
It's
that
the
was
Browns.
a terrible
We have an
move.
idea.
All right, so that was the Browns and the Texans for those two. We have some ugly hats and helmets up here on the table and a ice shaker. Shout out to our sponsor, Ice Shaker.
85. Get you $5 off your order.
85. We have Jet Boyer here. What would you like to see the Jets doing? As I see in lots of mock drafts currently, they have a tight end being taken by the Jets.
Hey, Cap. Hey, Cap. Cap, could you hit my theme music, please?
Hey, Cap, you want to hit that theme music in a little bit? May not be
That was
ready.
gonna be way more cinematic.
Well,
Yeah, well, the
talk
Jets
about
suck,
something else
so-
before you talk
Here
about
we go. Let's see if I can do it dry. There's a man, 6'3", 240 pounds, out of the great school of Georgia. He is the pride of Kirby Smart's offense. His name is Brock Bowers. Let me tell you something, boys. You think you're scared of a healthy Aaron Rodgers? Because you should be. And you should really be scared of a healthy Aaron Rodgers with Garrett Wilson, Mike Williams, if healthy, caveat,
As much as
and Brock Bowers, like potentially the best college tight end prospect that we.
We have a breaking comment from Mr. Fantasy.
Mr. Fantasy already coming in
We're
hot.
going to tune into him, see what he's
All
got.
righty, guys. So everyone was sitting here wondering what is going to happen. The Bears have been a subject of conversation all offseason. No one knew what they were going to do. The fate of Justin Fields, the first overall pick. Well, we know what happened to Justin Fields. He's shipped off to Pittsburgh. And so with the first overall pick, the Chicago Bears are selecting quarterback Caleb Williams
No way.
No
from
way.
USC.
no way.
Imagine that.
No
First
way.
upset of the night. All right, well, I mean, I'm pretty sure everyone saw that coming. So we're going back to our take. We got Caleb Williams going first overall out of USC/Oklahoma. Came from both. Basically came out of Lincoln Riley. So we're
I
gonna give
think-
Lincoln Riley all the cause there.
I think the only breaking news in that is that Caleb is wearing a suit and not a dress.
The other breaking news is that he may actually go to the podium and not go to Mama and cry.
Oh my gosh, y'all are.
We got a bunch of Caleb haters
I
here.
will
I think he's
say,
gonna
I
be
will
great.
say, I have lightened my stance on Caleb Williams. I'm not rooting against the guy. I'm just hesitant when there's this much hype around a draft pick. Like, just time and time again, we've been told this guy is going to be the future of football, and it just doesn't work out. And I think that comparing him to somebody like Patrick Mahomes is absolutely insane. But I'm not rooting against the guy. You know, I don't hate the Bears.
We have a comment in the YouTube section that says, "LOL, that LGBTQ1 right there."
Wow.
What a comment! What a
Man.
What a comment! A little edgy there,
Hey, don't be
but I do
disrespectful,
like
chat.
it. That was an awesome comment, Garrett. Wait, shout out to you
Shout
for
out to
making
Garrett.
that. That was a great comment. I personally I think Caleb Williams is going to be a good quarterback, and I have taken the stance that I am now all on the Caleb Williams train simply because
I'm not.
I got split decision right here, half or a third of split decision. He's a heel. No one likes him for some reason, just because he decides to express himself in a different way than most.
Yeah.
But he is a heel, and I want him to prove everyone wrong, and I'm all for it. I'm all for it.
Embracing the clown that is Robert Goodell. Nobody really cares.
The best commissioner in sports.
Which is sad to say.
Hate him as much as you want. That man,
He's
cooking
I'm
up
sorry.
business.
I forgot you are a big Manfred fan.
Absolutely not.
Big Adam Silver guy.
About to say, Adam Silver is probably the best commission in sports.
What?
He's
Well, let's
probably
be
the
honest.
coolest commissioner aside from the hockey commissioner.
Let's just-
but
Okay,
he
the
has
coolest
brought- he has
commissioner
taken-
is Triple H, but you know,
is he a commissioner?
he does it all.
He's a COO.
Okay,
Somebody get this man a bigger shirt. He is wearing a children's jersey over here.
In
and
light
Hambone is
of,
showing up. Fred Taylor.
Wow.
in light of the Commanders being on the clock, this is where the rumors around trades were starting to swirl. So what seems obvious to me may not actually happen. What do you guys think?
This is Jaden Daniels.
If
It's all smoke screen. I'm telling you, Spence. I know you can hear me. You know, our buddies in ball, our last top 5. Jaden Daniels is the clear-cut number 2 quarterback in this draft.
He's my QB1.
He was my QB1. I think Caleb Williams. I went back and changed because I think Caleb Williams' ceiling, he's going to be able to have a higher ceiling, in my opinion, right off the bat. But Jaden Daniels could be the best quarterback as far as career goes in this class easily, because I think that there will never, because of Lamar Jackson, you're not going to see what happened with him in his draft class. What was that, guys? 2016? 2016?
2018, maybe?
2018. Lamar's draft, where Lamar fell all the way down to the Baltimore Ravens at pick 32. And I think Jaden Daniels is very much in the same
2018, yes.
cut from the same cloth as that. You've got a guy that obviously the Heisman Trophy winner, just like Lamar, and very elite runner, as well as the most potent, one of the most top 3 most potent offenses in college football last year. At one point, the most potent offense with Malik Neighbors and Brian Thomas Jr., two wide receivers who we will also see go in this first round.
So I know that Jaden Daniels is getting compared to Lamar Jackson quite a bit, but there's a comparison I like better, and I think that he has a real opportunity to show us what a not injury-riddled RG3 could have looked like.
Ooh, I do like that.
Because I feel like RG3 was like, yes, he was kind of the run-first guy, but had a great arm. And I think that Jaden Daniels' arm coming out of college is better than Lamar Jackson's was. Lamar Jackson has shown remarkable improvement and is a legitimate superstar quarterback and has a great arm now. But I think coming out of college where he was at, I like Jaden Daniels' arm talent better.
I definitely agree. I think that Jaden Daniels is a more refined passer. That's fair to say than what Lamar was. And I'll even go as far as to say I think he's just as good of a runner as Lamar is right now.
The only thing that I would say is how is he going to do whenever he goes to a team that doesn't have 2 elite wide receivers?
Yeah, and that's the thing, right? I mean, if you go to Washington, you've got to remember
if he goes to Washington.
I mean, it's not only like do you have Scary Terry. You've got
Jahan
Dotson. You did lose Samuels, but Brian Robinson in the backfield is still a good option.
Austin Eckler now,
who is a pass catching running back.
And you can't forget that
that offensive line is god awful though.
I think that gets addressed this weekend. I'll say that. And then I would also note too.
Cliff Kingsbury. That's what I was going to say. Sorry
Cliff
to cut you off.
Kingsbury's
Clancy.
Go
the
ahead.
offensive coordinator.
Cliff Kingsbury, the OC, I think he has the opportunity. Jane Daniels is my number one pick if he goes to Washington.
Cut it out.
Oh, pick is in. Pick is in.
The pick is in.
We have Mr. Fantasy.
All right, so the Commanders' tumultuous season last year, we know. Sam Howell, not the answer. So with the second overall pick, the Washington Commanders, they are taking quarterback Jayden Daniels out of LSU.
Great pick.
Way to go,
Go
Commanders.
Tigers.
Way to
Hey,
go,
Mikey,
Commanders.
can we get the Spence up a little bit in our ears and the effects? Appreciate it. Yeah.
So, continuing the conversation, go ahead.
So I think with Cliff Kingsbury and Spence, interject here, please, because again, me and you did the quarterbacks. Jayden Daniels for me is going to be my pick for Offensive Rookie of the Year. I think again with Cliff Kingsbury has a proven track record. His only time in the NFL he didn't even come in as a coordinator. He was a head coach immediately. And at one point in time, the Cardinals, he had Kyler Murray, another elite runner with a big arm. And you got to remember, until he got D-Hop, he didn't have a ton of weapons. And then they traded for Hollywood Brown, right? So I think that you're going to see the same thing. Jane Daniels, to me, that's one of the, depending on how this draft falls, he's going to be, in my opinion, potentially the best situation of any of these rookie quarterbacks.
And I think that Cliff Kingsbury is Jayden Daniels' best weapon. Because I fully trust Cliff Kingsbury.
100%.
I think he's a fantastic coach. He's proven to be somewhat of a quarterback whisperer. So I think even if there's not an excess of weapons, like you said, you still got Terry McLaurin, who I think is a great wide receiver. But even if there's some kind of second-rate guys as weapons, I think that Kingsbury's going to scheme up and he's going to be just fine.
To tie Clem and what Alex said together, yes, the receiving core I think is thin. Yes, the offensive line is thin. But we still have the whole weekend for the draft. They still have almost $44 million in cap space too. So whatever is not solved this weekend, they're going to fix. So much so, here's your first hot take of the night. I think the Washington Commanders are going to be clipping at the heels of the Dallas Cowboys of not surpassing them for number 2 in the NFC East.
In year one?
I think it's that possible because I think Dallas is such a mess now with Dak playing on a 1-year contract. I don't think he gets that extension.
No running back.
And they just didn't participate in free agency.
Exactly.
Literally.
Cowboys are in trouble.
It's not true. They made one move.
Yeah, shout out Baseball Girlie 713. Poor girl hers.
Cowboys suck. All right, we do have some comments here. We have Braden Evans in the chat.
Hey,
shout out to Braden.
The
Braden,
heart of
part the
Lamar
80 team.
Baseballs.
He said that Caleb Williams will be humbled quick, which is yet to be seen, but we're gonna find out pretty soon.
Can I
how good he
piggyback
is.
off of Braden's take here?
Go for it.
So, Braden, thanks for commenting. Good take, as per usual. But I have a hot take that I mentioned I was in the comment section of Buddies and Balls the other day, and I think.
Breaking news! Hang on. Breaking news!
We
Hang
have
on.
Mr. Fantasy chiming in.
So, not necessarily anything too crazy, but after a lot of speculation that the Patriots might get rid of the pick, you might be asking yourself, why would they do that? Why would they ever not take the chance to get their franchise quarterback after Tom Brady left? We didn't know that. Well, we now know they are going to stay put at number 3, and they will be selecting their quarterback of their franchise now, right here.
So transitioning into that, who will be the next quarterback off? Will it be Drake May, who a lot of people think? Will it be reach that I feel for J.J. McCarthy at 3? There's a lot of different ways they could go here. The Patriots, first year under Gerard Mayo, we're going to see how he does.
Do they shock us, Al? I mean, we've seen guys like, again, we've talked about it many, many times. There's always one person on draft night that catches steam in a way that no one expects him to, and we have definitely seen that begin to happen with Michael Penix Jr.
Yes.
And I would not be shocked. The Patriots are notorious for picking guys like Strange, the offensive lineman out of
North Dakota State.
North Dakota State in the first round, right? Like, could we see it again where they go and take Michael Penix Jr.?
I feel like that would be a massive reach.
I feel like this has to be Drake May.
Yes.
I would have to agree with you.
Drake May, he needs some polishing, but he does have a absolute cannon attached to his arm. He's not young, but he hasn't played a whole lot of football. He was at North Carolina, where it's North Carolina. I mean, you're not going to have elite talent there.
Coach, oh my gosh, Mac Brown.
Mac Brown was there. Yep. And I mean,
Lost
this is
his
the first.
weapon, Al. By the way, he lost his weapon for this year, and a lot of people thought that he might sit out.
Patriots pick is in.
Pick is in. We have Mr. Fantasy.
All right. So, like I said, they are going to stay put. They are not going to trade the pick. They're getting the franchise quarterback with the 3rd overall pick. The New England Patriots are selecting quarterback Drake May out of North Carolina.
As well they should. I think there's such a large drop-off after these top 3 there's still some good quarterbacks out there, don't get me wrong, but these top 3 guys, those are the ones you want. I think there's a significant drop-off after that.
I think we haven't seen exactly what J.J. McCarthy is going to be yet. We've seen him on 3rd down make some massive plays and create some things with his legs, being able to make all the throws that he needs to make. But I feel we just haven't seen enough of it because they had such a dominant run game, to where they didn't need to put the team on his back and have him carry the team. So it'll be interesting to see. The last quarterback we saw from North Carolina didn't work out too great with Mitchell Trubisky. But I mean, hey, this guy I feel like is a more accurate passer. I feel like Drake May will be a better pro than Mitch Trubisky was. And Mitch Trubisky, he hasn't been great, but he hasn't been terrible. I mean, he's a solid backup quarterback. It's not what you want from where he got drafted. But, I mean, it could be worse. I feel like Drake May is going to be a solid pick. Now they just need to start building some weapons around him.
Yeah, and I'm gonna say this much, guys. I don't like this situation for Drake May. Drake May, to me, if you're Drake May, this is the worst situation you could have gone into.
First-year head coach, minimal receivers.
But everyone said the exact same thing about C.J. Stroud last year. First-year head coach, who was his weapons? Who were his weapons?
I think the difference is that you at least had Slowick, who came from that same tree. Slowick came from that Washington, that insane staff from Washington, and I mean,
that was centered around a run game.
It doesn't matter.
And that built the narrative around Brock Purdy being a game manager and not an elite quarterback. That was built around the run game, and I feel like Gerard Mayo, a defensive-minded head coach, they're gonna rely on the run game a lot. And I mean, it could just take some of the weight off him. Not to mention the Patriots they can go out and spend some money.
I think that my issue it's not about the weapons; it's about the development. What have we seen time and time again, especially in the last decade? If you do not have a good system for developing a quarterback or an offensive-minded head coach, it's difficult for these kids to even get a chance, get a fair shot. I mean, we were just talking on the show a couple weeks ago about my point of the 2021 NFL quarterback class, like a complete bust. I mean, even to go as far as Trevor Lawrence, supposed to be the next Andrew Luck, not close. And to me, if you're not living up to expectations, you're a bust. You're a generational quarterback? No. So,
I mean, they will have a solid run game. They're going to have Ramondre Stevenson back there. They're going to have Antonio Gibson. Those are 2 solid running backs. As far as wide receivers, you've got Kendrick Bourne and Demario Douglas, which not a fan of. They do have Jalen
KJ
Reagor.
Osborne as well.
They have KJ Osborne. So I feel like he's got some decent weapons. He's got Hunter Henry and Austin Hooper as his wide receivers for his safety blankets. So I feel like, that could be a decent situation for him.
Yeah, we're gonna find out. This is the spot where Drake May is the one quarterback that is the easiest to become a bust before the others. I just fear for just the production level, what he was asked to do. Yes, he's an athletic freak from arm talent to running, but he's unrefined. That's the difference. I see a lot of holes in his in his mechanics. He kind of throws the ball, holds the ball a little too long, I think, at times. And to me, his throwing motion is longer. The only guy in this draft that I think could be close to having a longer throwing motion in his mechanics would be Penix. And I think, again, that's why Penix, to me, had some issues with finding some of these receivers. As we saw, Dunze and him couldn't link up on some of the throws in the national championship game. But again, we're gonna find out, man. We will find out. I think now it's very safe to say we watch the first trade. I think is going to be right here in 4-5, and I think you're going to see. You might see the Giants.
We have breaking news.
It's not necessarily breaking news, but I can confirm via Twitter that no, there will be no trade. The Arizona Cardinals are going to stay here at the 4th pick.
Marvin Harrison. Lock it up.
Has not been announced yet. I'm on it, though. I'm on it.
I'm saying just
They
go ahead
do
and lock it
need
up.
to
Marvin
work
Harrison.
on their defense, but I mean, you'd be foolish not to get Marvin Harrison here, right?
Yeah, I mean it's.
Got to replace Hollywood Brown too.
You would be. So back to the comments. Now we're waiting for these picks. We have Brandon the Entertainer.
Shout out, Brandon.
Shout out to AD, new AD member, Brandon the Entertainer.
Steve.
In the comments, we have the retired Flyer, which somebody at this table was married to. I think there's going to be a repeat of last season with the number 1 being in the shadows of number 2, which is. It also seems like James West is echoing that sentiment where he said Jaden over Caleb. So, or Jaden is greater than Caleb if we want to get technical in the comments. But it seems like the comment section is saying that Jaden's going to be better than Caleb, which it's an interesting take. I am a big fan of Caleb, so we're going to see how that goes. But
The pick is in.
we have Mr. Fantasy.
All right, y'all. So there was a lot of speculation. Not a lot of people knew what was going to happen after the first 3 quarterbacks went off the board. There was speculation of Malik Neighbors, Rome Odunze. But with the 4th overall pick, the Arizona Cardinals did not overthink it. They are going to take Marvin Harrison Jr., wide receiver out of Ohio State. Now, before we go on to the next pick, we are going to take a quick commercial break, and we're going to be back just in time for that number 5 overall pick. We'll be right back in just a sec, y'all. Mikey has to fix
I'm
something.
going to go pee first.
All right. We did have Mr. Fantasy let us know during the break that the Chargers are keeping this pick. There will be no trade.
Are keeping the pick, and we do have some reverb on our audio, which hopefully we'll get that ironed out. But the Chargers, what are y'all feeling with the Chargers here?
I mean, if
Joe Alt.
if it's not the quarterback with Spence was making the point over here a second ago that we saw the odds go from like plus 3,000 for a quarterback being selected by the Chargers to within a week to plus 600, which is insane. However, one thing that we continue to harken back to is that Coach Harbaugh did say that he wants to build this team the same way he built
The pick
Michigan,
is in.
and that's the trenches.
Is in.
We do have Mr. Fantasy.
All right, so a lot of speculation about what the Chargers were going to do. Some thought they might need a pass-catching weapon for Justin Herbert, but if you had listened to Jim Harbaugh talk in recent weeks, he's trying to build in the trenches. So with the 5th overall pick, the Chargers are selecting offensive tackle Joe Alt from Notre Dame.
Good call.
Notre Dame.
Okay, so
Don't hate
I
it.
would like to talk about Joe Alt here
Go
for
ahead
a
and
second.
talk. Floor is yours, Clem.
Yeah, if you watched my Big Burly Boys special about the offensive linemen in this draft, Joe Alt is not my number one guy. Not saying that he's gonna be a bust by any means. I just think that there are two tackles that I would have taken before him. One of them is Fuaga out of Oregon State, and the other one that I would have taken is Fautanu out of Washington, just because he can play tackle and guard and has started at both positions several points throughout college and done it very well. But Joe Alt, generational size, the guy's an absolute monster. I think in watching his tape, one thing that I noticed is I think he's going to get called for a lot of holding penalties early on in his career. Just from what I saw on the tape, he holds on far too long. And in my opinion, I know other people are high on his handwork. He doesn't have the best handwork, in my opinion. And he may prove me wrong. And we got breaking news.
Breaking news.
Not necessarily anything too crazy, so hold your horses, but this is an interesting nugget. I want to hear y'all discuss this. Per Adam Schefter, in recent weeks, both the Patriots and Vikings reached out to the Chargers to see if they had any interest in trading quarterback Justin Herbert. The answer was very quickly a flat no. Not only do the Chargers love Herbert, but they also would have to take on a $63.5 million cap charge for the coming season at a time they have only $32 million in cap space.
Justin Herbert was better than any quarterback that you can get at that position. So
Easily.
he's also a Duck, so I'm a big fan of him. In the comments, we do have Garrett saying that Alt is the clear number one, highest floor. He's got the highest floor, bookends on the line for Justin Herbert. So solid choice in my opinion. I know Carlos has dug into him a little bit more.
I watched
Johnny
a
the Dead.
lot of Joe Alt tape in the offseason. And like I said, I don't think it's a bad pick. Like, I don't think that, they screwed the pooch on that one. I just personally had guys ranked higher.
James West with Herbert is a Jag. You watch your mouth right now. He was stuck behind a terrible head coach. So don't put that on him. He's putting up numbers like crazy. He had rookie records all for a whole 2 years or 1 year until CJ came in and destroyed him. But Justin Herbert is a solid quarterback, great quarterback, and I just think that his head coach was stifling him.
Okay, so Alex just gave his. Quancy and Tyler, where are y'all on Justin Herbert?
I love him. I think you have somebody that has proved to perform consistently. I don't hate the pick at offensive line here either, but I am still sitting here going, okay, Mike Williams is gone, Keenan Allen is gone. Who's he going to throw to? And again, Spence already mentioned the $30+ million in cap space. So is this a Tyler Boyd landing spot? You've got to give him something because right now he has next to nothing to work with.
Will they make a trade? There's a T. Higgins
There's
out
a T.
there.
Higgins.
There's a T.
trade
Higgins out
request
there,
out
or
there.
to stand with the trade note, do they move back into the first round to go grab one of these young bucks?
To answer your question, Al, I think.
Well,
Hold on. We got
All right.
some news.
So, the 6th overall pick, it is in. A lot of speculation about what the Giants might do. They might take a quarterback.
JJ.
They might stay put and just take the best player available. That is what I believe they have done. With the 6th overall pick, the New York Giants are selecting Malik Neighbors.
Great pick.
Wide receiver, LSU.
Rest in peace, my favorite wide receivers.
Danny
career.
Dimes is garbage. Get him out of there.
He is a great wide receiver. I personally think Roma Dunze would have been the better pick here. I was higher on Roma Dunze.
Okay.
He has less, not character issues, but personality issues.
Question marks?
Yeah, personality question marks, not issues. A lot were saying that he is similar to OBJ, which is he's a polarizing character, which has a big personality. And how is he going to do in that New York market where he's going to have Danny Dimes throwing him pennies? I mean, Danny Dimes is not
Throwing him
the
some
best.
wobbly ducks that are 5 feet behind him.
So, yeah, the 5 feet behind him I get, but sometimes wide receivers do prefer ducks. That's why Peyton Manning made a career. Not saying those bad throws at all, but some wide
Getting a
receivers
nerve.
do find the wobblier balls easier to catch than tight spirals. So, sometimes Garrett says there will be less DUIs for sure for Roma Dunze.
I'm gonna go ahead and say I really, again, y'all know how I feel about Brian Dable. Love me some Brian Dable. He's a beast. I would have liked to see. This is where I wanted to see Drake May go. I thought that Brian Dable, what he did with Josh Allen, to me, Drake May is that same rough around the edges. A lot of work to be done, and if anyone was going to be able to make him turn him into the next, essentially quote unquote Josh Allen, I don't think he's could be as good as Allen, but y'all get where I'm going with it. That would have been the spot. However, getting Neighbors, Danny don't got no freaking excuse, and
I just think that I agree with you. I want to see. I'm not a Giants fan, but they're in the top half of teams that I like. Like, I don't hate them by any means. They're probably the team that I like most in that division. Sorry, Alex, but I think that they kind of fall into the same thing that we were talking about with Justin Herbert, is that I don't think they really could have taken a quarterback here with how much money they've recently paid Daniel Jones.
He's only on the books for one more year, though.
Yeah, but that's true. But whereas Justin Herbert, there's a market for, and if you wanted to pick another quarterback, you could easily flip Justin Herbert for some real capital. You're not getting anything for Daniel Jones from anybody. So I just don't think they had the option to take a quarterback here, and they got a great wide receiver. I think that while Marvin Harrison Jr. is still my wide receiver one, I think that this is a 1A and 1B conversation. I disagree with you. I think that Odunze is the clear number 3 in my opinion, and I think that Harrison and Neighbors are 1A and 1B. I think they're both going to be very good.
We have Garrett in the chat saying Neighbors will have an OBJ meltdown after a few years. So, but if you can get the production you were getting out of OBJ for a few years, hopefully you can get a bag for him if you want to trade him and he's a problem in your clubhouse.
The Giants are finishing last in that division, hands down. And this don't change that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I don't think this is enough of a... They've got problems all over.
So moving on, we have the Tennessee Titans that are now on the clock. Where are y'all feeling the Titans will go?
I mean, if you're the Titans, you're this again a very similar situation to me to the Chargers. You're either going big man, and you're getting somebody to freaking protect Will Levis. We saw if you want him to have any shot of showing you something, you're gonna have to protect him. But also too, this is a team that doesn't have any weapons.
I got a Dunze going here.
I could see a Dunze going here.
They just have so many needs everywhere on the field
Well-
that I don't feel like you can take a wide
Don't-
receiver right here.
don't be
and you took a wide receiver, what, first round 2 years ago?
Calvin Ridley came in the offseason. There's a little something.
Well, yeah. You know what? I had forgotten about Calvin Ridley.
Tony Pollard.
So I don't think they get Odunze here. I completely forgot about that.
I think they're probably going to go lineman.
Yes, I
They
would.
also
They need so
they
much help
also-
along that line.
And they didn't have a great defense to start, and they lost a lot of pieces.
They did.
So,
Brought in L'Jarius Sneed.
but they lose Autry. They lose. Shoot, who else? Didn't?
D-Hop.
Alshair.
Yeah,
Oh,
Alshair.
they've still got D-Hop. So they
Yeah,
got
they
got
still have
D-Hop and Calvin Ridley as their top two receivers.
Yeah, they're not getting a receiver here.
And they got Traylon Burks in the slot. I mean, the
it's
only
actually not a bad wide receiver
it's
core.
not terrible. I mean, they're a little bit older. And then they have the only move they made on offense or on offensive line this offseason is Cushenberry, which he's not terrible, but he's all right. You got running back, you got Tajay Spears and Tony Pollard back there. But I feel like they need some help on the offensive line, and I feel like that would be the move
Yeah,
here.
they got. If they really believe in Levis, pick is in, y'all. Pick is
It's
in.
in.
And he looks excited.
Oh boy, this is going to be the first shock of the night, y'all.
Oh, no.
So the Titans could have gone in a lot of different directions. Teams could have jumped up and traded with them, but this must be their guy because at the 7th overall pick, the Tennessee Titans are selecting offensive lineman J.C. Latham at number
Wow.
7
Interesting.
overall.
Wow.
Okay.
They'd have
Wow.
I knew he was gonna
A
get
mega
reached for it.
reach, in my opinion.
Yeah.
Mega reach.
Mega.
He is. I mean, I do like to consider myself the offensive line specialist here, but he was my number 5, and he was on the verge of being number 6 because I had Mims out of Georgia very close to Latham. That is a reach, in my opinion. That's crazy. I mean, I think good offensive lineman, but there was a lot of talent left on that board.
Let me go ahead and say, with these draft picks, I'm a big fan of lining your suit with pictures of you in college and high school and teammates and family members and things like that. Having these portraits on the liner of your suit is a dope move.
Yeah, I think that you definitely see the player's character and I guess kind of able to just really express themselves and kind of a little bit with the character, right? The journey.
Yeah, and show who's important to him.
We have James West in the comments that says, "Roll damn Tide, don't give a piss about nothing but the Tide." Garrett also said, "Whoa, reach poverty franchise," which
But hey, the Titans are the team that I hate the most in this world. So
I mean, come on,
Good
you
job.
hate them more than the Cowboys?
yeah, I do.
Ooh.
The Cowboys never stole our uniforms.
Did they steal your uniforms, or did
I don't
you give them
care
away?
I don't care about the facts. I care about my narrative.
No, it's all about the facts. The facts are the Texans did not want to retain that, so it's on them. I blame them.
And this is a Houston Oilers helmet, by the way. This is not a Tennessee.
And now it's a Tennessee Oilers helmet.
No, this is. How many oil rigs do you know of in Tennessee?
Quite a few working in oil and gas. There are some oil fields.
Shout out the
there.
oil and gas industry.
All right.
Destroying the ozone
I
layer.
care about the facts.
You're just.
Destroying the ozone
We're gonna
layer.
fight tonight. I
One
can't wait to see who
plan
the
at a
Eagles
time.
waste a draft pick
I like
on.
it rough. We're going to be drafting a cornerback, so hopefully, fingers crossed.
Hey, you know who else likes it rough is Will Levis, but
he is going to get beat up.
he's definitely
Here-
going to get beat up.
I mean,
Here's the
but
thi-
hey, we're just a bunch of stooges over here talking about football. We do not
Speak for
know.
yourself.
We're not professional scouts, so we could be completely wrong, and this guy could be awesome.
I'm not wrong. I'm never wrong.
That's the joy. That's part of the joy of the draft is sometimes it's a reach. Sometimes you stole a pick from some people that thought they were going to get a solid talent later on in the first round.
Hey, and shout out everybody watching. We appreciate you, everybody here that is showing up to support. We appreciate you. Again, we are here at Chicken and Pickle. We appreciate them. And title sponsor for our show today is Sold Out Sneaker Store. Guys, you want to make sure that you guys go on down to Friendswood off 518 Road. You see the Shell Station, turn left. It's in the Strip Center. You want to check it out. The guys are going to be here. They're actually doing a charity thing right now, so they're going to be here any minute. They're going to have some great deals tonight.
I got to talk to him about some Yeezys.
Yeezys. What?
We got
Yeah.
we got James West in the comments saying, "Give him." He said, "Give me some Yeezys for first." We have Jose in the comments. Angel. We have
Angel
saying,
kicks balls.
shout out PPV, which is his company, oil and gas. James saying the Eagles never waste draft picks, which I would argue we have wasted some.
Jalen Rieger.
They've wasted a couple. They had a great draft last year.
He also said, "Don't
but-
let Johnny melt down. Give him a Snickers." We have seen
was
some
that a fat
meltdowns on
joke?
gaming. He's not gaming or doing anything competitive, so we should be fine for a little while.
Hey, shout out ADG.
Shout out ADG. You got 2 members of the squad on the panel. We got 1 member in production.
Going
Our
to be
boy Cat.
running a kills game also too. Y'all can tune in for that. Little shout out for it on Saturday. Y'all can tune into the ADG channel from starting at 3 o'clock. We're going to be doing a kills race on Warzone for HLX. That's what it was.
Shout out to
Am I
SCV. Give me
doing
my
that?
bonus so that I can buy a new gaming system so that I can be part of the ADG team. Because right now I've got a 360. I got an Xbox One. But I'm a little bit behind the times when it comes to gaming. I'd like to get back into it.
Also, Alex, your hat's sick. John, your hat's sick. I like your hat for different reasons, but it's not this hat.
This hat
It's definitely
reads,
not a no rivals hat because no
Shout
rivals
out.
has no rivals
Exactly.
in the quality of their hats.
You see this thing? That thing's beautiful, isn't it? You like that? You like that? Let us know. Let us know if you want one, because if you want one, we're going to be taking orders for the next round.
The
Wanted to
coolest
see-
thing about this hat is our QR code inside the brim here,
It's
or
true.
inside the band here, which takes you to all of our socials. So
And also, John, I think you wore one here today, but they have a bunch of really cool hats on No Rivals website. So if you go to NoRivalsHats.com, you can check out all the different college licensed hats that they got going on. You can now use code, I believe it's just AD. You can use code AD at checkout for 10% off your order. That went live today for this event. Got our boys Nick and Riley out there. They treat us right. Really great guys, great product, and you're gonna like the way you look.
we guarantee it. Angel said, "No rivals save my life."
Wow.
And then on the other spectrum, we got James West. I wish I had mine left out. I want mine. And then that MF, I'm assuming means
Mofo.
Monday, Friday. Because we are family friendly.
I got a little, you were talking about it, so we got a little H-Town special here that you can
Yep.
get from No Rivals. And they have, don't they have an upside down variant as well?
I
of
believe
this?
they do.
They do.
They also have a legit Houston Cougars line that says Cougs on it, upside down, black and white, and also standard colorway, and they are awesome.
Trying
Also-
to get them in touch with my people over at McNeese
Yes.
so I can get an upside down Go Pokes hat.
They're awaiting
Pokes.
that, actually.
We also, while we're waiting for the
Spence.
Falcons,
Spence, want to check in. Do we have any just something to, what are the streets talking? Are the streets talking?
Right now, the Twitter sphere is really going in on the Tennessee Titans selection of J.C. Latham. A lot of people saying he's not even a first-round talent. I think we all have kind of agreed to the same kind of thing. But, you know, most of us are Texans fans. We ain't mad about them Titans having to freaking have to go through all this poverty that they always are going through. This is the draft that sets up the AFC South perfect for the Texans and the Colts and the Jaguars to somersault over the Titans as they lay down in the cellar of the South.
speaking of poverty, the Falcons pick is in. Mr.
Yeah,
Fantasy,
do you have
do
any
you
word
have
on
that
the
for us?
Falcons pick?
Yes, I do have the Falcons pick, and it is an interesting one. With the 8th overall pick, the Atlanta Falcons are drafting Michael Penix, quarterback from Washington.
No way.
Whoa! Hey, we got big Penix energy. Let's go.
And he is going to have some weapons to work with.
Why? No, you don't trust your quarterback you just invested a
I
lot of
don't
guaranteed
understand.
money in
I
without
don't
telling me you don't
understand.
trust your quarterback.
Why do all that to get Kirk Cousins if you're drafting a quarterback? I don't get it.
Because they don't want to waste. I'm telling you right now, it's because they do not want to waste Pitts.
Oh my
and
gosh,
It
that's
has-
fine, but you could have gotten a weapon here.
Wow.
You could have gotten a weapon here.
They
You could have
just
gotten a
signed
front
Kirk
seven.
Cousins to a 4-year, $180 million deal.
$100 million guaranteed, correct?
Yes.
That is the shock
I
of
could
the draft
see this.
so far.
I could see this if he was on a 1 or 2 year
Wow.
Like a
contract.
prove it deal.
Yeah,
Like-
something
That
like that, to
completely
where he could mentor Penix and they can move forward with Penix in a couple of years. Are they going the Packers way? I mean,
Here's the thing: is I had actually called Penix to the Falcons way early on before the Kirk Cousins move, and then when the Kirk Cousins move happened, I was like, okay, well that's out. That take aged like milk, but that is insane to me.
and Johnny's back. That take was hot. Wait,
Wow.
we have the Falcons pick J.J. McCarthy.
whoa, 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 whoa!
Whoa.
No.
That's just who that was. That's just who that was.
That
Okay,
was
all
Just
right.
looking at living rooms.
Throwing us off.
I'm on it. I'm on it. Hey, I'm on it. Listen to me right now. I'm on it. I'm locked in on the Twitter sphere. You caught me in the middle of a monologue earlier, but the tweet was right here. There's Michael Penix going to the Atlanta Falcons. J.J. McCarthy's still sitting there
You didn't get
for
a
the
Don-
Broncos and the Vikings. One of those is going to end up with J.J. McCarthy.
You didn't get a Don Schefter, did you?
I'm sorry?
You didn't get a Don Schefter,
No.
did you?
No, I didn't get
wasn't
Schefter.
But was it Adam Schefter or a Don Schefter?
No, it's not. It's Albert Breer.
they've
Albert
been-
Breer, JPA football. A lot of people are corroborating that it is going to be Michael Penix
Yeah,
at the 8th overall
Hey,
pick.
shout out JPA football, underrated source.
This is a problem with this year's graphics team for ESPN because this is not the first time this has happened tonight.
No,
they
I
have
agree. I know what you're about to say.
They have the pick is in, and then right next to it they'll show who they have on screen, and it looks like pick is in. It's this
Yeah.
person, but
It needs to
I
be the
can't-
opposite.
I don't understand. I really
I'm still
don't.
sitting here because I had someone like Dallas, Vegas, somebody moving up to grab Penix.
I'm so
No,
glad.
here's the deal. There's plenty of opportunity to jump up still. If you're the Broncos and you are in love with J.J. McCarthy, you see the Vikings sitting there at 11. There's a lot of
Nobody's
ability
in love
to
with
jump
J.J.
up in
McCarthy.
front of them. You've got 2 chances to do so at 9 and 10.
chance.
You can
0%
still do
chance.
that.
They just traded for Zach Wilson, who will be their franchise quarterback.
how do you feel about
Hey,
that, Tyler?
screw that guy. Am I right?
Tyler can finally let us know how he feels about. He doesn't have to be loyal anymore.
Listen, bro. Let me tell you something. The only bombs that guy's throwing is the one-liners he's giving these ladies of the night to take him home.
Is he a soaker? Do we
He's
know?
he's a Quaker.
Is he is a Quaker?
He's a Quaker.
I don't think
Quaker,
he was
not
an
a
actual
soaker.
Mormon. though.
He is a very much
Don't let anybody from BYU hear you say that.
MILF hunter.
I don't understand.
Michael Penix
Now,
Jr.
now I will say this: I love this for Michael Penix.
Michael Penix.
Like I feel like Michael Penix just won the lottery because he's gonna get to sit for a couple years behind Kirk Cousins.
4
and
years.
I think they
That's a
trade.
long time to
I
sit.
guarantee you they'll trade him probably.
I don't
2
think
years.
he'll. If he shows progress, I don't think he sits 4 years. I think they move on from Cousins, which, again, I don't understand the move. But for Michael Penix, this is best case scenario for him.
There's no pressure. Like, Penix can work through all the things that he needs to work through and through his mechanics, is, being able to get used to being a pro. I mean, Spence, if we can get Mike, if we can pull Spence in real quick. I mean, we talked about this. We thought that JJ was going to be the one to get the heat. He got the heat way sooner, and we called that Penix was going to go a lot earlier than people thought. And here he is. And now we didn't think he was going to go this early. But you tell me what you think. My take on this is we broke down quarterbacks. Michael Penix is in the best situation of any of these young quarterbacks so far.
Well, I mean, as you know, I personally was not ever a fan of Michael Penix. I think he's got the ability to be a good pure passer. I think of a lot of the quarterbacks in this year's class, he's definitely one of the better pure passers, and that's something that the Atlanta Falcons obviously seem to have wanted, right? But it doesn't make sense. Why would you do this whenever you just went all in on Kirk Cousins? The NFC South is wide open for you. You can add Rome Odunze. You can add Brock Bowers. Stock up the O-line. Why are you using the 8th overall pick for a quarterback when you're trying to contend in the NFC this year? It's wide open. What are you doing, Atlanta? I don't get it. I think the situation for Michael Penix himself, you're right. I agree with you. It's good. But for the Atlanta Falcons, why are you doing this when you have a chance to really contend in the NFC? I don't get it.
Byron Murphy was there for the taking, brother.
So was Dallas Turner.
Dallas Turner. You needed an edge rusher or a middle line monster to be able to really solidify yourself as a team that, I mean, granted,
Wait, the Bears are picking
pick is in. Who you got, Mr. Fantasy?
Is
Mr.
this,
Fantasy, what do we
is
have
this a
here?
trade? Is that why it's so quick?
There is the pick, and with the 9th
This is their
overall
pick.
pick, the Chicago Bears are back on the clock. Thanks to the trade with the Carolina Panthers, they are stocked up. And with the 9th overall pick, they are adding another weapon for Caleb Williams. They are taking Michael Penix's teammate,
Rome Odunze.
Odunze, wide receiver from Washington University.
That wide receiver core is stacked.
Okay.
Who rattle off their wide receivers real quick? Because I know they got DJ Moore.
DJ Moore.
They have DJ
Keenan
Moore.
Allen.
They got Keenan
I
Allen.
forgot
Cole
they
Kmet.
got Keenan Allen.
Cole Kmet, yep. Gerald Everett's their backup tight end, which you could do a lot worse as a backup tight end.
Your running back from Philly.
Yeah, DeAndre Swift is there now.
I'll say
it's a lot.
this, Mr. Fantasy. Let me get your quick take on this. I love Cole Kmet for fantasy this year with all these weapons that have been added.
Absolutely. In a position where there's not a whole lot of quality, as we know, every year the tight end position is one that you're scrounging on the waiver wire trying to figure something out to do. Cole Kmet, you could do a whole lot worse than Cole Kmet, and with an upgraded quarterback, a guy that actually can get him the ball this year. Justin Fields not the most accurate guy, as we know. Caleb Williams should improve the fantasy value of Cole Kmet. I would say right now, just off the top of my head, I would say he's probably at least a top 8 tight end in fantasy.
With Quants, with Caleb Williams and Rome Odunze being added, how do you see the Bears competing in the AFC North this year?
Hold on.
All right, the first trade of the evening is here.
Yes, Joe Douglas.
And it is the New York Jets trading up to the number 10 spot with the New York Jets. And now the Vikings are on the clock. I'd have to assume this is where J.J. McCarthy goes. They did not want to wait. They were nervous that the Broncos were going to come up and get their guy. So I have to assume, I'll wait for confirmation, but I have to assume this is going to be quarterback J.J. McCarthy.
Wow.
Okay, real quick before we start covering J.J. McCarthy, Quants, how do you think that the Bears compete this year?
To answer your question, it's Detroit's division to lose. I still think they win that division. I am not a full-on believer that Green Bay is a wild card team or as consistent as we saw last year.
Agreed.
I think the Bears are going to be right there with Green Bay, probably contending for the number 2 spot in that division. And the reality is the Vikings moving up to take the pick. It could get very interesting.
So here's my thing, Clarence. I love that take. I think you're right on. I think you guys we have to remember we have again, I believe in Justin Fields as where he's at in his career right now as a player more than I believe in the risk you take drafting a quarterback that we know nothing about as a pro. That
I would agree with that.
Okay? So, not that I think that Caleb Williams is going to be worse than... Okay.
So we got trade compensation. The Jets are getting pick 11, pick 129, and pick 157 overall in exchange for the 10th overall pick and the 203 going to the Vikings.
Okay, so that means the Jets just
fifth?
got back their second-round pick that they did not have.
Okay.
That was so okay.
So Minnesota's moving from 11 to 10, correct?
Yes.
Yes.
Worried
Are
inevitably
you
that
afraid-
Denver was going to hop in.
Were you
and
afraid
take
there
it.
was going to be a trade to hop to get J.J. McCarthy? Is that the fear? Otherwise, why?
Yes.
All right, so the pick is in, and as we suspected, it is going to be J.J. McCarthy at 10 overall to the Minnesota Vikings. They get their quarterback.
Yeah.
Guys, I'm not high on J.J. McCarthy. I'll go ahead and say
Spence, we talked about it on Buddies and Ball. There is one spot where J.J. McCarthy goes that we believe he can actually become something of merit.
Yeah.
And that is you have freaking Jettas on one side, you have Jordan Addison on the other side.
Love
you
Addison.
have an offensive guru in O'Connell, and you also have
Got Hawkinson at tight end. You've got Aaron Jones at running back.
Aaron Jones.
And you also have to remember this defense is Brian Flores, who we have seen build monsters in with the Patriots. He built a monster in year one with a bunch of misfit toys with the Dolphins the year he was head coach.
And all of the Texans free agents.
And here he is now taking all the Texans free agents and making this is great. I love it.
hey, shout out the Vikings. If it weren't for them, we wouldn't have Diggs.
Hey, yeah. Shout out
So,
and also
hope
shout out
some
the
success
Vikings
for
for
them.
giving me something to watch for day 2 with the Jets.
Y'all want to just take a moment to for our viewers out there right now. I just want to point out that we are still just now seeing Roma Dunze on the television. So if you're tuned in on Athletically Declined, our stream right now, you're ahead of the time. We are in the future right now. I'm locked and loaded on the Twitter sphere. Everything that's happening, I'm on it, man. I'm here for you. We are ahead of it. You want to make sure you are here. If you're local, come out to Chicken and Pickle. We have pickleball opening up in 15 minutes. So make sure you come on out. I'm stressing out though, guys.
I'm out.
Stressing.
I'm going to go play some pickleball.
Cap. Yeah.
Let me talk to you.
Let me talk to you, dude. Okay, again, I'm gonna go ahead and say it. I'm gonna reiterate it. He learned from the best. I'm gonna go ahead and give him his flowers. Howie taught Joe well. What did Joe Douglas do? He went and he took the risk on Aaron Rodgers. Aaron Rodgers hurt himself, obviously, which did work out because we didn't have to give up a first-round pick in that trade. We did have to give up a second-rounder. And right here, set up perfectly, the Jets still are going to get the pick of the litter of their guys because we weren't getting a quarterback. And you get that second-round pick back. Joe Douglas, we see it happen time and time and time again with him making up and doing these big trades like this and coming out ahead. I won't be surprised if with that second-round pick, if they've got a guy there, like an offensive tackle that falls, watch them to kind of come back in around the late 20s to even.
I've got a guy for you that you should be looking out for them to get in round 2. It's his last name starts with an A. I'll get it for you in a second. But the tackle out of Yale.
Yale. Oh.
Smart guy.
Smart
guy.
High SAT scores. Very high.
We've got in the chat. We've got Garrett saying it's like we're in a time machine with Spence over here. Spence is wiping himself down. He is sweating a bit.
Towel
we have
off over there, Mr.
James
Fantasy.
Wild West Bets coming in saying Spencer needs to win an Emmy. And guess what? We got the next best thing. We have a Cheer Choice Award right here. Hey, we won it. We went to Vegas.
By the way, yeah,
we came out victorious.
First time saying Athletically Declined Sports, the award-winning podcast in Houston.
The award-winning podcast.
Shout out Cheer Choice. Shout out Spread the Cheer USA.
Network?
Hey, special teams, special players. Special streams.
I mean, surely Sketch wants to come hang out with a bunch of award winners, right?
I mean, also, too, seems to be a big fan of the Jets.
No, but
no.
I will say, Sketch is a Texans fan. That's well documented. So back
He
off
really
our
enjoys
boy.
playing with high-level cornerbacks.
He
yeah,
really
because it seems
enjoyed
like he was
playing catch
catching-
with C.J. Stroud.
Yeah.
Shut up, guys.
He didn't catch a single pass, though. He dropped all of them, didn't he?
Oh, no, dude. He cooked speed. Oh, no, that's what
He
Caleb
actually
Williams.
got
That's what
hurt.
Caleb Williams.
He got hurt.
Sketch did?
Yeah,
Oh, man.
but
What happened? You played hammy.
Hey, also, too, Clem, real quick, so before I don't forget, guys, please do us a favor. Like, the way that we can continue to do these high-level streams, high-level production, please subscribe to the YouTube page. Please go to the Instagram and follow the Instagram. Please. If you're watching on Facebook, if you're watching on X, follow, like, subscribe to YouTube. This is the easiest way to help us out here and to also make sure that you are staying on top of any time we go live. We also want to make sure to let you know that we have started an AD Media and ADG, Athletically Declined Gaming, YouTube pages. They are separate so that you can keep things organized, because we like to be organized. And you can find Reality, our reality TV show that Clem and Retired Flyer, his awesome other half, host, and you will also find Bad
The
Dad.
better half. She's the better half.
The better half. And we also have Bad Dad Pod, as well as Pursuing Purpose. And then on ADG, obviously, you're going to get all the gaming, and you will also be the new home of Meat Tech, hosted by the beautiful and many very talented and absolute foundation of this AD production team, Mr. Michael Esperanza.
Mikey does not like the attention, but we love giving it to him because
And
that
Mikey
dude
don't
is
miss.
an
Sassy Mike.
all-star. And he is gorgeous. Look at that facial hair. Look at those glasses. Look at that suave hair. Mikey is now hiding
He's
behind the
also
monitor.
lean and mean.
He's,
Like, look,
no, he is lean and mean,
Yes,
but
yes,
not mean.
yeah,
I'm not saying
yeah.
mean. He's one of the nicest people I've met.
But not. He's actually a sweetheart. But lean and mean, just to, for the sake of the expression.
He is
But-
extremely dedicated. One time we had a meeting on Discord, and he was in the meeting in the shower.
What?
This guy had the meeting on in the shower.
What?
He is
What?
full buy-in. All right, in the shower. We have James West in the comment that said AD to the Monday, Friday moon. Him and these Monday, Fridays. Subscribe Monday, Friday. We can subscribe any week of the day. All right, James.
Big fan of the days of the week.
Yeah, so
fan.
If you're watching on YouTube, then we know that you've already subscribed to our YouTube channel. Please go subscribe. But also go over and check out the AD Media channel. Go out and check out the AD Gaming channel. We did a little bit of content that you're going to get on AD Media actually took place on our main channel because we wanted to, kind of show our loyal subscribers what they can expect. And
We're already there.
Spence.
We're already way ahead.
Spence,
already
they're
way ahead.
just now getting to the
Vikings,
Vikings
yeah.
pick. So
We are
shout out
probably
Mr.
10 minutes
Fantasy.
ahead.
I'm on it, man. I'm on it for you. I do it for the viewers. I do it for the fans. I do it for my panel. I do it for my people.
Spence, let me ask you a question here. Obviously, the biggest surprise so far is the Michael Penix pick. I would think. What is your prediction for the potential next trade, just based off of some of the rumors and some of the validity on those rumors?
Yeah, so right now, the Twitter sphere is really speculating heavily about what Sean McVay and the Los Angeles Rams are going to do. The first time since 2016, when Jeff Fisher was the head coach of the Los Angeles Rams. This is the first year they have a first-round pick. And so Sean McVay and Les Snead are really being aggressive, and they're trying to go up. So don't be surprised if we see a Rams trade up by the end of the evening.
Yeah, I don't hate that at all. I wonder, real quick, Spence, can you find this information out? Or maybe you'll probably know it off the top of your head. I know that they signed Jimmy G. Jimmy G is on that team. Do we know what that contract looks like?
It was a one-year deal. The numbers don't come to the top of my mind. I do know it was a one-year deal.
1 year.
So honestly, in my opinion, who cares if it's a one-year deal? It's coming off the books after this year anyways. So
that's a trade candidate.
Yeah, that's a trade candidate.
Okay.
That's a cut candidate. He might not even make the opening day roster. It's possible that he could be a cap casualty or maybe a trade. Quarterback goes down in the preseason. Jimmy Garoppolo could end up as a starting quarterback somewhere else.
He'll find his way to a starting position.
But what
somewhere.
Speaking of, guys, stay with me. Stay with me. They are moving right along. The Jets are staying put at the 11th overall pick.
Getting your guy.
And with the 11th overall pick, they are not taking Brock Bowers.
Yes!
They are taking offensive tackle Olu Fashanu
That is a great
out of
pick.
Penn
Great pick.
State.
Let's go,
Great
baby.
pick.
Okay, I'll
Bust.
take it. Those are my two. I'll take it.
I still
Brock
think I don't think he's going to be a bust. Whenever my Big Burly Boys special came out, Olu Fashanu was my O-line 1. He was my
Shredded.
top-ranked guy. The guy is going to immediately come in and improve your passing game. Since then, since a pro day, since the combine and that sort of stuff, and we got to see other guys, he did slide down on my list a little bit. He slid down to my number 4 guy. I think it's absolutely insane that we're not getting any buzz about Fagua out of Oregon State, and we're not getting any buzz about Feltanu out of Washington.
Yeah.
But Olu Fashanu will be a Pro Bowler in this league, mark my words. He is a great offensive lineman, and I wouldn't be mad at that pick if I was a Jets fan.
We have Wave Score Games in the chat saying, great pick by the Jets.
Love that.
Just an
Shout out,
observation
Wayne
now.
Score.
We're all the way to pick number 12. We've had nothing but quarterbacks, wide receivers, and offensive linemen be taken.
Yeah,
No-
if you're
no
looking
defensive
for,
player off the board
If
yet.
you're looking for a defensive player and you were worried about having to move up, stay put.
Exactly.
Stay put right now.
Yeah, I want to talk also, too, one thing that I actually really, really love about the Jets taking an offensive tackle here, like, my heart for value, I liked Brock Bowers. I kind of forced myself to
And
really...
that's the sexy pick.
It's a sexy pick.
That-
It's another weapon. I really forced myself to get on board with it. But y'all know how I feel about Jeremy Ruckert. Jeremy Ruckert finally, with CJ going to the Eagles, it's just Conklin and Ruckert. Ruckert's going to get a lot of playing time. Ruckert's catch percentage is, I don't know off the top of my head, I just know that it was off the charts compared to the other Jets tight ends. That dude, when he's on the field, the guy is a vacuum. And he's a big boy, 6'4", and was, kind of overshadowed in an insane receiving core at Ohio State. That was the year that you had, the first year of Marvin Harrison Jr., you had Garrett Wilson on that team. You had the kid from the Saints. Olave. So and you had Seahawks in Njoku.
Oh, JSN.
Yeah.
So again, and you still were getting the ball to Ruckert in that offense. Day was still highlighting Ruckert enough to make him one of the top tight ends in that class. So I think.
I'm interested in these next two picks. We've got Denver and we've got Las Vegas. Both need quarterbacks.
Bo Nix.
Do you go? Bo Nix was projected a little later. I know it's a
Yeah,
matter
but we
of what you
also
need.
weren't expecting a Penix reach like that. Does that scare them into taking a Bo Nix here?
Now
does
I'm
it
curious
work? Is
as
it
to how
Denver or is
far
it Las
Brock
Vegas?
Bowers is going to fall.
Let's see who.
We also have Garrett in the chat saying Spence is running miles around established media. Man is paying the rent, it seems.
Dude, Fashanu is a unit, brother.
Dude, I'm actually a big fan of that pick, Tyler. I think that's gonna be. We're gonna look back in a couple years and be like, that was a great pick.
That's your Becton replacement. That's literally what you're doing. You're getting a guy to where, you've got Tyron Smith is going to be your left tackle. He's going to protect that blind side, and you're going to have Fashanu move into that right tackle if he makes enough to beat out some of the, like Orlando.
If I can gas you up a little bit and give you something to be excited about, in my opinion, again, O-line expert here, I like to think, he is the best pure pass blocker in this draft.
Yeah.
There's other guys that do other things better that are maybe better all around guys because he does kind of struggle in the run game a little bit. But best pure pass blocker in this draft. And after what happened to, I know you hate us bringing it up, but after what happened to Aaron Rodgers last year, you can never have enough big burly boys on that line to protect your star player.
Because, also, too, you got to remember.
We got to pick it.
Spence has breaking news.
Guys, another shocker. In my opinion, I wasn't expecting this, but we have our sixth quarterback
Is it
off
Bo?
the board. The Broncos are taking Oregon quarterback Bo Nix.
told
Yep,
ya.
dude, I said it. That Bo Nix is like, that is an Elway pick to me.
No.
I just feel like that is an Elway pick.
Wait, are you saying like
saying
he's
that
gonna?
Elway
You're
pushed for
saying
the pick.
front
Like,
office?
correct. Like, that
Elway
doesn't
okay,
feel
you
like
weren't
something
saying
that,
like he's gonna be John Elway.
No, he's
Okay,
definitely not gonna be John
that's-
Elway. I think that's a pick where Elway's like, give me the sexy pick. Give me the guy that was elusive around Oregon. I don't know. I think Bo Nix Bo Nix hasn't done enough for me to just really gush over him and really lean into him going to be good. But what I will say is Bo Nix could not win in the SEC. Now, Auburn didn't have a ton of weapons. I'll give him that. But he did, fight through adversity enough to go, okay, I'm going to continue to push through, and I'm going to go my senior year where he could have come out. And he could have gone to the draft that year. But he didn't, and he went and played another year at Oregon, and it paid off. He did have a great year. Bo had a good year, whether you want to believe it or not.
No, he did. He balled out last year.
Hey, my Liberty Flames, undefeated. Went and played them on the New Year's Six Bowl, and Bo Nix torched us.
I wanted to get in on y'all's quarterback conversation when you and Spence were doing y'all's videos and stuff.
Yeah.
The schedules didn't allow, but I'm higher on Bo Nix than y'all. Now, do I think they reached for him? Absolutely. But this I know is a hot take, but I'm higher on Bo Nix than I am on J.J. McCarthy. I think that, and I'll tell you why, is because Colin Cowherd said something, and I don't agree with Colin Cowherd 99% of the time, but he said something that I did agree with when he did this year's high lows. And he said, I forget who he said the low was for J.J. McCarthy, but the high for him was Alex Smith. And I see that.
I love that. I love that.
I see that he is at best a game manager. I think that he could be a very good game manager, but
So
I disagree with you.
Going back to what you said about him in the SEC, though, he had 39 touchdowns and 16 picks. He never had a quarterback rating lower than 123.
he had no weapons at all.
That's what I'm saying. Like, there was a lot of those games that you were getting a lot of those touchdowns on the ground because there was no one to throw to, and it just. I know Coach Freeze is there now. I can't remember who was at Auburn before that. Not a big Auburn guy.
I stopped being an Auburn guy after Cam Newton, so couldn't really tell you. I did watch Bo Nix play there a couple times, but I really think I'm basing off of mainly what I saw at Oregon, and I think that Bo Nix his high for me would be Baker Mayfield 2.0, and I think Baker Mayfield is a criminally underrated quarterback in this league, and I think that Bo Nix, his play style reminds me a lot of Baker Mayfield, and you could do a lot worse. I do think they reached for him. I think they got scared when Penix got taken.
Yeah, no, I agree. And here's real quick, like, to talking about Auburn. I mean, we talk about it with the NFL, and I think that it's no different, maybe even harder as a college player coming in under Gus Malzahn for his first 2 years, and then Kevin Steele taking over as the interim for the bowl game, and then Brian Harsin taking over in the final season. So 3 head coaches in 3 years.
Yeah, I mean, I know Bo Nix has become somewhat of a punchline with, like, he's going to be 40 years old by the time he starts his first game in the NFL and all that. But, I mean, I agree with you, Tyler. I think going to Oregon for another year last year was the best thing he possibly could have done.
It showed a lot of fight and grit, and you have to have that in the NFL. You cannot pull a Zach Wilson because, I mean, really – Zach Wilson, I'll say it, I will die on this hill. Zach Wilson had the best arm talent in that 21 class. God. However, that potential did not lead into production at all. We talk about that a lot. But I think with the same breath, Zach Wilson also mentally was not prepared to be an NFL quarterback. He had no fight and no grit. That guy was a walking, insecure kid. He was just a kid. He never matured mentally to be able to handle the situation. And I don't think Bo Nix is that way. I think everything has shown me that Bo Nix has the mental aptitude to be able to fight through what the mental strain being an NFL quarterback takes in the high and the lows and learning a new system and being a rookie quarterback under a microscope, especially following in the footsteps of some great quarterbacks for the Broncos. It's not long, but a couple, 10, 15 years ago that they had Peyton Manning, and they were fighting for Super Bowls.
Yeah, and obviously you thought Russell Wilson was going to work out better than it did. I do think that some of that blame is not on Russell Wilson. I think Sean Payton. I am not a fan of him as a coach.
Not a fan.
And I do think this. I think Bo Nix is possibly going into the worst situation out of any of these guys.
Yeah, he better get Cortland Sutton on the phone real quick and figure out some chemistry.
He doesn't have a terrible wide receiving core. It's definitely not the best. He's got Cortland Sutton. He's got Josh Reynolds. He's got Marvin Mims.
Bunch of Jags.
Yep.
I will say this. I'll give Sutton his flowers. I would take Sutton over Jared Judy every day of the week.
So we're through 12 picks. 6 have been quarterbacks.
I mean, they
How many more go in the first round?
I think you're going to get one more.
Oh, hey, if you want to know a fun fact, this is actually ties the NFL record for most first-round quarterbacks, and we have 20 picks to go.
Wow.
Who's next on your list?
Give me Spencer Rattler.
You think he's going to go first round?
Yes, I do.
Now, yes.
Yes.
Thanks, Atlanta.
Because of Atlanta. And I'm going to tell you this much. And I think Spence definitely has called.
Pick is in.
Okay.
All right, this is a big one. One of the best players on the board is now gone. The Oakland Raiders. Oh, not the Oakland. The Las Vegas Raiders. I'm that stressed out. Y'all are taking tight end Brock Bowers.
Great pick.
From Georgia.
Great pick.
Solid pick. Dude's going to be a stud.
He is going to be a stud. That's a great system to be in for him. Immediately becomes tight end 1. And now Devontae Adams has somebody to take the pressure off of him.
And they gotta figure out their quarterback situation. Is it Aiden O'Connell?
AOC, baby. Come on, Spence. That's their guy.
But I will say, I know AOC is very excited that he just got
a safety.
I think AOC gets beat out by Gardner Minshew.
I don't disagree with that.
I wouldn't be surprised at all.
Minshew has had the short end of the stick multiple times. He did great when he was in Jacksonville.
Yeah, Hamo can attest to that.
He came in Philadelphia. He did solid job as a backup.
He comes in and saves people's season and gets no love.
And then he goes to the Colts. And he has a solid year with the Colts after Anthony Richardson goes down. The dude he's just got bad luck. I mean, he's following in other than the Jags. I mean, he's following people that have been drafted as franchise quarterbacks.
Listen, Gardner Minshew is this generation's Fitzmagic, period. That's who he is.
I would say he's better than
he's
Fitzmagic.
better. I think he's better than Fitzmagic.
I think...
Which, no disrespect, Fitzmagic, I love Fitzmagic. I loved him when he was with the Texans and his beard was sticking out of his helmet, and I love that guy. But I do think Gardner Minshew is significantly more talented.
I'm going to say this, and I'm going to say this and I hope Hambone's listening. I think Gardner Minshew, body of work, better statistical quarterback, Jaguar quarterback than Trevor Lawrence.
I actually, I don't know that I agree with that, but I don't think it's crazy.
Hambone, do you have a take on this?
Hambone, come in and help us out real quick.
Here, you can. Hambone, you can.
Hey, the man's at work.
I'll move the banner for you. Come
Yeah.
Come jump on.
We're talking Jaguars.
Exactly. Why are we talking about Jags? Ain't done nothing yet.
What up, Hambone?
What's up, brother?
Man, I'm really, good to know that I'm not the only one who hoards things from my childhood. I just don't typically wear them out in public.
I was actually going to say how much I like that shirt. I remember watching Fred Taylor play, and he was a damn good running back.
Hey,
Mark Brunell.
I also really like
Keenan McCardle.
I really like my Brett Favre Jets jersey, but I don't wear it out in public anymore.
Well, here's the thing: is Fred? Let me go to bat for Hambone here. Fred Taylor actually he retired as a Jag. You can't say that about Brett Favre. So.
I think you're misinterpreting what I'm saying. It doesn't fit me anymore.
Oh. Well, don't blame Hambone because he's hot.
Hey,
Respectfully.
you hate him because you ain't him. Okay, Hambone, tell me this.
What's up?
Realistically, give me your realistic Hambone take. Don't give me the garbage.
What you want
Sometimes
to
those are hard to
Trevor
distinguish,
Lawrence
sorry.
versus Gardner Minshew, body of work from statistically. Who was the better Jaguars quarterback? Not who's going to be better. Who was the better to this point?
He wants me to say Minshew. I'm looking at you because I don't want to look at him right now. He wants me to say Minshew, but Minshew did not have to endure a year of Urban Meyer.
See, that's how we're talking about.
Minshew did not go to the playoffs.
That's what we're talking about.
Well,
You know what I'm
the
saying?
playoff
Like,
thing is valid.
Playoff thing's valid. I'll give you that. But
So
what I'm
just
talking about
that, I mean, just off of that, just off of one playoff
I'll-
win, I was going to say Trevor
I'll
Lawrence.
say this. I think now Hambone would be the first one to tell you I hate on Trevor Lawrence a lot, but like Trevor Lawrence is clearly a better quarterback than Gardner Minshew.
Correct. And I'm not. That's not what I'm saying.
But I will say, after watching Gardner Minshew almost save the Colts season last year, it's closer than I would have thought. But it's like, but that's all on Gardner Minshew being better than I thought he was,
Right.
not Trevor Lawrence being worse than I thought he was.
If Jonathan Taylor comes back 3 games earlier, or even 2, the Colts definitely beat out the Jaguars for third or second. Yeah, it would have been second, right?
Yeah.
100% they would have, because JT came back and took about 2 games. Was it 2 games to really kind of get things going? Spence, can you
Come on,
check
Hambone,
that?
fight now.
Jonathan Taylor,
I'm gonna
when
let
he
him-
came,
I'm letting him
because
get
I know
his.
fantasy-wise you'll know the answer to this.
Zach Moss held it down though.
He did hold it down, but what I'm getting at is Jonathan Taylor significantly outplayed him after the first, I think, 2 games of him coming back from injury, from the holdout. Is that correct, Spence?
Jonathan Taylor, I am showing he appeared in 10 games last year, which means he missed the first 7 games.
Right. So the take here for me is if JT were to have come back 2 to 3 games earlier, that the Colts could have salvaged their season. And
Yeah, and also to be
I'll
clear on
agree
that
with that.
stat, it was actually they brought him back. He came back a little bit early, but they didn't start him. If you recall,
Correct.
They eased him back into things, and Zach Moss was the one that was getting the majority of the carries for the first 3 games, and then after that, we know Jonathan Taylor took off.
Tyler, I'm not going to fight you on that. The Colts could have overtaken us at second. We were on a spiral all at the back end of the season, and partly due to the injuries sustained, by Trevor Lawrence. You know what I'm saying?
and also too, like,
not just Trevor, but the whole team.
As much as I hate, I like to give Ham a hard time. We do definitely see eye to eye on this. He's a lot more realistic than I give him credit for, because Calvin Ridley's not the guy.
He wasn't the guy.
You can't expect Trevor Lawrence to go out there with your number 1 option being a high-end number 2 slot guy with Christian Kirk.
Right.
You just can't.
And a major ego.
And also too, who is their tight end? Like, that's one thing that I'm going to, in this season, hammer home more, is look at Oakland, what they're doing. They got their guy a safety blanket. You go back and you look at what did Houston do for C.J. Stroud?
Hang on, we got the pick is in.
We got some pick is in.
Over to
All
Mr.
right,
Fantasy.
so the Saints were fielding a lot of trade offers. A lot of teams were trying to move up, maybe the Rams, but the Saints are going to stay put at 14, and they're going to pick offensive tackle from Oregon State, Talais Fuaga.
That is an absolute
New Orleans Saints.
steal. An absolute steal that he fell out of the top 10.
Great. And there is going to be some trade ups from some of these contenders. Like, would not be surprised if the Bengals move up maybe for a guy like
Mims.
like Mims, the other kid that's still out there from Washington.
Faltanu is going to, when he finally gets drafted, is going to make a lot of teams look really stupid for not taking him.
And another interesting thing to kind of keep note, there has not been one running back, and we can go ahead since we got Hambone on here. Hambone, I think it's a foregone conclusion that there's no fight, I don't think, from anybody, that Trey Benson for Florida State is the clear-cut number 1 running back.
Number 1.
And I think, honestly, he's a lot better than what people are giving him credit for, and should probably get a case for top of the second round, if not get traded up into the first round at the bottom end of it. I like him to a better version of Trey Sermon.
Trey Sermon. I'll throw out another name when I was watching. I have him as a better version of Leonard Fournette.
I like that too.
Interesting.
Big body.
Sorry, who are we talking about? I was
Trey
Trey
Benson,
Benson.
running
Benson?
back,
Okay.
Florida State.
Big body, 4.3 speed. I think he's got better hips, better wiggle than Leonard Fournette, but just a straight up bell cow, and he had decent hands too.
Yeah.
I'll say second round. That's what we're looking at. When you're looking at teams, the Cowboys already said they were drafting a running back. You know what I'm saying? Chargers, I wouldn't be surprised as a team like that, where they got a Harbaugh now who wants to run the ball 50 times, and they have a second, have an early second. So
Because you just got Gus Edwards, who it's going to be interesting to see how does he handle a full-blown workload going into camp. Can he stay healthy?
right, yeah, I'm gonna say I said Trey Benson clear cut, and then the rest of those guys you're starting to look into the bottom of the second, maybe into the third, and then later round. So
There's somebody, I know you watched a lot of running back tape this offseason, and I had a specific request for one. My favorite running back in this year's draft shouldn't sniff being a first-round pick, probably not a second. I think we're looking late third, early fourth. Would you call that accurate? For my favorite running back in this year's draft is Frank Gore Jr. out of Southern Miss.
Yeah.
So I'll tell you this. I got nothing but love for the Gores. You know what I'm saying? The reason why the Jaguars got the number 1 pick and Trevor Lawrence was because of Frank Gore. And I'm sure Tyler can speak a lot to that, being a Jets guy.
And Frank Gore Sr. is one of my, he's in my, I'm not saying best, but in my top 5 favorite running backs of all time.
Because he's a
Love
pro.
Frank Gore.
He's a pro, right? Done it for a long time. Kept the body up. Bell cow, you know what I'm saying? Great production over a long period of time. So, but to get to your point, Frank Gore Jr., I did a little bit of reviewing on him. Just smaller back, and that's probably what'll keep him in the later rounds. Maybe high in fourth, later. Like I say, good hands. He's got the pedigree. Pretty quick feet, but just small, right? I think I think the teams will be looking at that, right? Just the size, right? But pretty good production at Southern Miss. I can see why he would be one of your favorites. I just think when you're looking at the size.
You know me. I love small conference college football.
You do.
I love it. So
you do.
Hey, I would also like to ask a question. Just a little side note for a split decision. Do we think that Fuaga, a secret member of the bloodline?
could be.
Pat, Fuaga, secret member of the bloodline? On the TV, secret member of the bloodline? The bloodline? Yeah.
But getting on that real quick, because we have the running back specialist here and the offensive lineman specialist here, picking somebody like Fuaga, and the reason he was my number 1 ranked O-lineman, which an absolute steal that he falls to the Saints. He is the flat-out best run blocker in this draft, and it is not even close.
Made Dylan Johnson look good.
His nickname is the Bulldozer, and that's exactly what he does. He plays aggressive. He is a massive specimen, and he's going to instantly improve your run game to where maybe if you're one of these teams that has somewhat of a jag at running back, he's going to make them look a lot better.
All right, and then going to New Orleans, you got Kamara in the backfield, so he gonna get his carries, but
he's older. He's older. He's not. I wouldn't call him in his prime. Would you disagree?
No, I wouldn't disagree with that.
Yeah.
But getting somebody like Fuaga might have just added another season on to the end of his career.
I think another kid that I'm excited to see is I'm a big Blake Corum fan.
That was going to be my question.
I wanted to ask you that
Call the
as
shot,
well.
and where's he falling?
I'm gonna be honest with you. I think in short area quickness, Blake Corum might be the best back in this draft. But if you look at top end speed, it just ain't there. So me personally, I like what he did at Michigan, but my questions were, how does this translate into into the league. You know what I'm saying? Just look at the Cowboys, Deuce Vaughn, right? Another smaller back, right? Real good short area quickness. When you look on the film, right, you seen guys run them down. You know what I'm saying? And Michigan had the best offensive lineman in college football last year. Harbaugh was toting that. He was having them boys tote that rock, right?
When do the Chargers pick again? Do we know? Spence in the second round.
They have the 37th overall pick.
Do we think that could be a spot where, I mean, again, like their depth is it's Gus Edwards. Do we think maybe?
I think that'd be a good fit.
I wouldn't hate that.
I mean, the Chargers got both Ravens backs, right? They got Dobbins and
I believe that's
Dobbins
right. As of
did Dobbins play for the Ravens?
I don't think
Tuesday
Dobbins
this week?
is signed.
He's been coming off the injury, right? But just look at it though. Chargers had what? Eckler, receiving back.
No, Eckler is a Washington
gone.
But
Commander.
I'm just saying, look at the style of play though. Like they had a receiving back, and you want to know what kind of schematic change is Harbaugh bringing? Is he going to be? Do you need a power back? We need someone who's going to catch the ball out the backfield, right?
Well, I think that's
important. I think they're going to get a back in the second.
I don't think now that y'all were right. Yeah, they signed Dobbins. So you've got Gus Edwards. You have the Ravens running back core.
Which was
But
which
what
was
you
an
said
odd
earlier,
move to me.
you have Gus, who's never played a full.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And look at the
And
other
Dobbins,
Harbaugh.
who's also coming out
No,
from
that's
an
fair.
injury.
And obviously Harbaugh trusts Corum. I mean, that is what they want to do. Is they want to push the ball down your throat. I can get behind. I think it'd be a good
I can
pick.
see it. I can make a pitch for it.
I would also not be surprised. The pick is in.
All right, we have our first defensive player off the board at pick number 15. I don't know if that's a record or not, but that's something I want to look into. But at the 15th overall pick, the Indianapolis Colts are selecting, I'm going to butcher this, Laiatu Latu.
Wow.
Laiatu. Can y'all help me out?
Yes,
The
we got
UCLA
you.
defensive end.
Wow.
Yes.
Okay, this guy, I don't know if y'all know this, just shout out James West doing our edge guys. Latu has a fused neck. He actually retired from football and came back. This is interesting.
But in that comeback, he did absolutely ball out.
Oh, 1,000%. But you're talking about investing a first-round pick on a guy with
a fused neck that's going to get hit on every play.
Throw a neck brace on, baby. Let's get it.
I mean, who's to say this guy doesn't come out and just get hit wrong, Clancy? And then, Ballard's screwed. But hey, you know what? That would be a real Indiana thing. I
don't
a guy.
hate the pick purely because we operate in the same division as they do. But
He's talented, though.
He is talented.
He's very talented.
You can't deny that. Absolutely.
Some would say he's the best pass rusher in the draft.
Dallas
Do you
Turner.
think so?
That's what some say.
Dallas Turner
I think
takes that.
Me, I like Turner.
I think
I'll be
Murphy.
honest.
To me, Murphy is an animal.
Interior.
About to say as a
I'm just
defensive
saying
tackle.
in general. Let me back up. As far as a get after the quarterback kind of guy,
Okay.
that's who I think they have the best, the highest motor in, I guess, toolbox. Yeah, defensive line toolbox. And I wonder, Brian the Entertainer, Steve, if you're in chat, let us know. What do you think? What do you guys think? Let us know also. So far, who has been the biggest surprise for you guys? Let us know in the comments. We are
It's the Falcons.
watching
It's gotta be
comments.
the Falcons.
It's 1,000% Penix.
Not Bo Nix going high, mid-first
No,
round?
I think that was a reaction.
That was a
to
domino
the,
effect.
Very
to
much
the
a reaction
Falcons
pick,
taking
yeah.
Penix.
Yeah, but just trade back and get him.
Would you guys? I need
Well,
to go.
they might have
Spence.
been. They might have been scared that the Raiders
pull
might have
Spence in real
picked
quick,
him up
Mikey.
If,
I'm gonna
if
pull
Bo Nix was available.
you
They
back
got Zach
into
Wilson. What you mean?
a previous draft.
All right.
The year that the Broncos
Zeus.
drafted Drew Lock, that was a first-round pick.
Second.
It was a second. Okay, that's what I was trying to remember.
Yeah.
Was
Lock.
that a reaction to a run on quarterbacks? Do you remember?
If I recall, I'm trying to recall what year that was, but I believe that was just the Broncos kind of having a need, and that was just the only quarterback that they really had an option to take. Really, in the second round, that was where the value was. They could have taken him in the first, but We know where Drew Lock is now. He's in Seattle, beating the Philadelphia Eagles on Monday Night Football as a backup quarterback, right?
Yeah. I think
Drew Lock is a
and actually, I think Drew Lock is actually on a new team now.
He's on a new team.
I believe he is a Giant.
Giant, right?
Yeah.
Sounds right.
I think he's got a real shot to compete there.
I don't.
Yeah, the Giants don't like Daniel Jones no more.
I don't dislike that. I mean,
I don't
again,
think they like him
either
anymore.
if I got fleeced like the Giants did on that
dude,
contract.
Locke had a great career at Missouri. Like, people forget, Locke has a cannon.
And he's shown spurts of it in the NFL. Like, he hasn't maintained it necessarily, but, I mean, what he can do at his height is pretty decent work. So
I just think the Broncos have been a dumpster fire for since Peyton Manning left.
Ever since Peyton left, the Broncos
Dumpster fire.
are a poverty franchise.
And I'm really sorry, Busy. Busy is our native Broncos fan.
Sorry about your luck, bro.
Yeah.
Hey, who are the Texans drafting in the first round?
They drafted a little man by the names of Stephon Diggs.
Oh, for $3.25 million?
You want to get technical, we just burned the pick a year early, so Will Anderson.
Yeah, that's fair.
There have been rumors, though, from some credible sources. Back me up here, Mr. Fantasy. There have been rumors, I don't know how true they are, of the Texans trading back into the first round.
Well, I definitely think that those rumors are definitely there. There's a lot of smoke, and where there's smoke, we know a lot of times there is fire. And I'm going to say this. I think they definitely are positioning themselves to try to draft something on the defensive side. And after we just saw that insane run of 14 straight offensive players to start the draft, I think maybe their board might be lining up for them to make a move back into the end of the first round.
Because
not saying it's guaranteed to happen, but I definitely can see the way this draft is falling. If Nick Casario's guy is there, if it's Byron Murphy, maybe it's Cooper DeJean, Terrion Arnold. It could be a number of different options. If Nick Casario's guy is there, we know he is not afraid to get on the phone and make a trade.
And there's two ways you can look at it, right? Is that the pick is in? Is that okay? No. Sorry. There's two different ways you can look at it, right? And I'm only talking about the Texans because Hambone asked, by the way. But now I'm going to talk. There's two different ways that you can look at it. Is we've gone on this run of nothing but offense, 6 straight quarterbacks, a few wide receivers, few offensive linemen. Our first defensive player just got picked. So you could say if the Texans are looking to get a Cooper DeJean or somebody, they have to believe that the likelihood of him still being there in round 2 is looking pretty good at this point. What do you think, Clancy? You're the fellow Texans fan on the panel.
I am. I'm looking at the people that have multiple picks in the first round, trying to decide if maybe you call up one of them, and it's the Vikings and the Cardinals, both who I think need quite a bit.
The Vikings have shown a willingness to work with Nick Caserio. So
that is very true. I don't think it's completely out of the question. I think it's a possibility. But at the same time,
what would it cost you?
That's a great
valid question. What's the
cost?
cost? And then if there's that much talent looking to fall into the second round, you got 2 second-round picks.
I think there will be some talent being pushed from all these quarterbacks getting drafted for sure. Like, I'm looking at, the number 1 cornerback is still on the board. I'm just like, that's why I want the Jags. I want the Jags to go get Mitchell. I'm sorry, I just got to insert my Duval County.
What's their pick?
We're at 17, so we're at 16 now. Coming up right here. There's some good players still on the board, right?
Who do we think? What are the Seahawks' needs?
I mean, I wouldn't be surprised
linebacker
right now if this was a team that went quarterback.
No, I don't see that.
Ain't nobody but Spencer Rattler left for the quarterbacks.
Again, we've seen crazier things, man. Like
I'm a believer that Geno Smith is an adequate starting quarterback.
I
don't think
temporary.
I don't think he's great by any means, but I think that you're comfortable sticking with Geno Smith if your other option is somebody like a Spencer Rattler, who I actually like Spencer Rattler, but a lot of unknowns, and that's a risk.
Yeah.
And I could see if Penix was still available, I think that's a no-brainer. You go and get Penix, but I don't think that they're moving on from Geno Smith for Spencer Rattler.
And I wouldn't say that they'd be moving on. I think that that's the situation you would want for a guy like that. And if you're wanting, I mean, Spence preaches it all the time. Like, that fifth-year option is so valuable to teams. And, again, I believe Gino is in on his second year.
They gave him an extension.
3 years. And I think this is going to be going in on his second year of that extension being active. I mean, Radler sitting or any of the other quarterbacks that you want to take a shot at there. I mean, I think Radler be the only one just because of the steam on him.
The problem with that is I don't think that the Seahawks are a quarterback away from being a contender. So, like, I think they have more needs.
All right, we might be on a run of defensive players because we now have back-to-back defensive players because with the 16th overall pick, the Seattle Seahawks are going to bolster up the defensive line, and they are taking Texas defensive tackle Byron Murphy. And we are now officially halfway through the first round, boys. We got 16 more to go.
You know what time it is, Spence.
Wow.
That's a solid pick for them.
That is, to me, that is the top defensive rusher in this class for me. I love Murphy. I think he is an absolute force. I think he was the anchor to that Texas defense playing the way that it did last year into the college football playoffs.
Who's the
Great pick.
Who's the Seahawks coach now after Carroll got fired or retired or whatever?
It was the defensive coordinator for the Cowboys, and he was Atlanta Falcon.
Mike
Quinn. Was it Quinn?
Dan Quinn?
Dan, that
It
is,
is
yeah,
Dan
I think
Quinn,
it is.
yeah.
Dan Quinn? Yeah.
No,
it's
Dan
not.
Quinn is in Washington. They have McDonald from
Mike McDonald.
Baltimore.
Oh, that's what it was.
That's
okay.
right. That's right.
But he is a defensive-focused head coach, correct?
Yeah, and the Seahawks have
Yes.
invested a lot of capital in their edge rushers over the past couple years. I don't know if y'all paid attention to that. I don't really watch what goes on in Seattle, but I did happen to remember that.
Pulled in Jerome Baker in the offseason.